Assalamu alaikum and hello. This is Wajahat Kazi, your host for Kashmir Observer's Current Affairs and Analysis show. We're on the cusp of one of the most momentous election results, perhaps in the entire course of US history. While stock markets across the world may have priced in Donald Trump's victory, it still remains unclear who will be the ultimate victor of American elections 2024. The final count, tally, and counting, plus results, might go to the Electoral College in the United States, wherein each American state has a different voting average. Even then, the results could be dragged and the ultimate victor decided a little bit later. Now, there is a very interesting context to the American elections. The context is global as well as international. World politics, I'll start with that, is at the cusp of putative and incipient multipolarity, which is gaining momentum by the day. Multipolarity means a somewhat equal distribution of power across many constituent states. At the same time, there is a discernible trend towards multilateralism. Multilateralism means the alignment of various states and working towards common goals by these states, like climate change, fairer trade. There is also the very nagging and important issue of deglobalization, which has been taking place since a long time. Deglobalization is the reversal of globalization. A very important component of globalization was firms and capital seeking the rate of return, low wage opportunities, which is also called wage arbitrage, and the profit motive. In this sense, firms, capital, and technology moved and shifted to places where wages were low, like China, for example, where there was high arbitrage opportunities to be made, and where the rate of return could be made, all in pursuit of the profit motive. Now, this trend is also in the incipient or later stages of reversal. There is also a paradox that's apparently going on right now. The paradox lies in the return of territoriality, the return of sovereignty, and the return of militarism, complemented by virtual reality. This is the overall shaping context of American elections. Now, there are obvious policy implications to this. The policy implications of these, plus whosoever wins elections in America, will be mostly felt on trade and security issues. I will dwell on trade. Whether it be Mr. Trump or Ms. Kamala Harris, there'll be increased protectionism in America. Increased protection in America, the world's most important economy, means protectionism across the world. The protectionism means the retreat from global and world trade, the return of industrial policy, which means national champions, quote unquote, of each country will be protected by the state, promoted by the state. They'll be subsidized, which will detract overall competition across the world. Now, whether that competition has been real or not in the recent past is open to debate. In conjunction, together, these will impact world trade, thereby impacting the global economy. With increased protectionism, tariff barriers, and non-tariff barriers, the world will retreat into perhaps quasi-autarkic zones, which will have natural consequences on the rate of growth of each country and the global economy as a whole. There'll be consequences on world trade, which might be reflected in increased intra-regional trade. Potentially, if there is an increased impetus to deglobalization, reshoring will take place. Now, what does reshoring mean? Reshoring means, again, in the quest of the profit motive, wage arbitrage, profit arbitrage, and other allied themes, big firms across the Western world and perhaps somewhat in the non-Western world would offshore their production, their back office operations to places where there was cheap labor, there was lesser wages to be paid, and what have you. Of course, this has domestic social implications in America, the Western world, and in the rest of the world. But reshoring, on balance, had a somewhat quasi beneficial effect. Reshoring would mean that these firms would retrench and go back to their home countries. Again, the impact will be felt on world trade. So, this I have dwelt on the overall context and the policy implications, mostly political economic policy implications of the next presidential candidate and the outcome of American elections. Is this all alarming? Maybe, or maybe not. We don't know yet. But all in all, there has never been such a thing as free trade, but freer trade. Freer trade has led to market welfare across many countries in the world. But it has also had diminishing returns, both in America and the rest of the world. Now, the conjunction of multipolarity, multilateralism, and changes in the political economy of the world offer both opportunities as well as benefits. There's pitfalls as well. I'll dwell on the opportunities and benefits. The present world, post the election results in America, offer a template for creating a fairer world order, a fairer trade regime, and a fairer global economy, the kind that redounds the welfare of all people across the world. It is here multilateralism, where the actions of and goals of various constituent states are aligned towards common goal for humanity, become important the moment there needs to be seized. Importantly, also, the present moment, especially the fluidity in present moment induced by elections in America and the fluidity in international relations and politics, offer an opportunity for a new normative consensus on regimes and norms that define world politics. Now, these regimes and norms should be defined by a stakeholder oriented and defined multilateralism where each state across the world has a say and a voice. This cannot be complete without a fairer and a stakeholder led global governance. These are the key points or key themes made possible by the great churn in the world's quote unquote largest economy and the world's most powerful country and elections in the country, the churn and fluidity these have generated, and the fluidity across international relations and political economy across the world. The moment needs to be grasped by everyone, whether it be the West, the non West, or the global South. The world yearns and craves a fairer world order, a fairer political economy, a fairer globalization, and fairer trade. All things are not mere ideal types. These are doable themes and doable constructs and doable actionable themes. What is needed is collective action by all constituent states across the world. The American elections right now and the changes they have induced offer such an opportunity. The world as we know, the world as it is defined by great diversity, by great heterogeneity, and by great difference. It cannot be subsumed, and normatively speaking, it should not be subsumed under one straitjacket, whether it be ideological, political, or policy. Each one of us, each state, constituent state in the world's international system has something unique to offer. This uniqueness, this difference, and diversity has to be celebrated, all for the beauty and improving the human condition. Can we take that? Can we grasp that? It remains to be seen. Now, coming back to the US elections, there are very important elections, not only in American history, but for world as such. They are one of the most contested elections in US history, which hark to the essence of what America is. Who will win these elections? Again, time will tell. We are just a few hours away from knowing the victor. The race is neck to neck. It's close. The swing states like Nevada, like Michigan, like Colorado will define it. But such is the close-knit nature of the race that the election results might get postponed. We all wait with a bated breath for the outcome of the most contested elections in American history. See you next time with a different theme, a different topic that touches and reflects on all of us. Thank you very much.